Hi.
Surprise! I totally forgot to mention this on the page, but we are doing part 3 of Mama Ain't Easy. Tonight we are talking about our children's love language and how we blah, blah, blah. Rewind. We are talking about our children's love language and how,
Like
yeah,
how we use it every day in our lives and how basically
yeah.
so
I had it before I went live.
go ahead and introduce the love languages for anybody that does not know what love languages are or what their love language is or how to use love languages.
Okay, so
I
I
was
brought
saying
my book. You have the book, but I know one is words of affirmation. So we're gonna be talking about words of affirmation. Forgot. Well,
okay.
Yeah, we're gonna let Charlene do it.
Hi everybody, how y'all doing tonight on this nice Sunday evening? So yeah, love languages. I don't know if you guys have heard, but it's like a whole book. It's like a whole program, and it first was developed for couples, because and we was even talking about this last time when we were talking about dating and staying, in love and like being intentional about the time with our spouse. We were talking about love languages. So it first came out for like couples, and then I guess, they further developed it and was just like, you know what, children have a love language too, right? So a love language is basically the way that you perceive love. So there are 5 different types, and you don't have to be like mainly one type. It could be, I guess, like, but you'll have more of one than the other. But what we found is that the way that you perceive love is also the way that you give love. So if you are a gift person, then you like to show love and giving gifts to people. And so it's important with our spouse or who we're dating and our children that we understand each other's love language so that we can just it helps us to connect with them, bond with them. And, as a busy family, it can just be time can get away from us. And so we should be trying to strive for family time and one-on-one time. So it's good to know, how your child thinks and receives love so that way you can just connect with them. So I was looking for, and I can't share it, but I guess I'll just talk about it. So it's 5 different types. So I guess y'all could be putting it in the chat. But we have words of affirmation. We have acts of service, physical touch, gifts, and quality time. So the first thing you need to do to determine what your love language is, and I can put that in the chat in just a minute, but it's actually a survey that you can take. They have it for yourself, they have it for children as well. And so it's an electronic quiz, and you just answer. They'll give you like 2 choices. They'll say, do you feel most loved when A, someone compliments you, or B, you get a gift. And then it'll go through a series of questions like that. And so it'll generate, which choice you pick the most. And so it will send you an email and all of that good stuff. So I can drop that in the chat. And so once you decide, so you will have your child take the test. It's made for kids. So I think the youngest might be around, elementary age. So maybe like 3rd, 4th, maybe younger. But I had my son take it, and he's 12, but I had him take it like earlier in the year, and it was definitely an eye opener for which makes sense. His is words of affirmation, and so after learning it, I just was more intentional about doing words of affirmation, and I saw a difference in how we connected. So it definitely is a good thing to know. So y'all want me to like share so I'm looking at a flyer, but y'all can't see it, so you just gotta listen. But once you find out what their love languages are, then you can kind of figure out some ways that you can be intentional. So like for words of affirmation, you can do things like compliment them, express appreciation. So, say when your children are doing chores, or even even in the things that we know they should be doing, if that's their love language, you can still express appreciation because they'll feel like they're being seen. And so that just kind of, boost them up. So even if they do something like with my son, for instance, with his chores, if I don't have to keep on like reminding him, then I'll tell him, I appreciate how you did that so quickly when I said it, stuff like that. And I'm used to talking to him like I talk to the students in the classroom, like I'm just a big affirmation person. So it helps me to connect with the kids, and I found it does the same thing with my son too, because we can get in the habit of nagging, and that really don't do nothing. I mean, it does something temporarily sometimes, but it stresses us out, and it still ends up being a cycle. And so we have to, try to bond with them, and also have intentional time to talk with them and get them to understand, some things, everything they don't have to understand, but, kids are, they have feelings and emotions too. And when you just treat them like, oh, you're going to just do what I say, like, and you're not helping them to make good decisions as they get older, because they're going to have to make decisions for themselves too. So,
yeah.
But I'll pause for a second because.
Oh, sorry. What you say?
Oh, I said I could pause for a second because I can definitely talk, and I don't want to, I want to see, I guess, is anyone in the comments saying anything or?
I can't see it at the moment, but I was just gonna add to what you were saying. Also, a lot of times so I'm more into personality types. Like I know what the love languages are, but my thing, like how Charlene's thing is love languages, mine is personality. So as far as with love languages, a lot of times we want to love people in the way that we want to be loved, and that may not be their love language. So, like, if my love language is quality time, or and my daughter's love language is words of affirmation, and I may be wanting to spend quality time, but that doesn't make her feel. Not that it won't make her feel loved, but her thing, what makes her thrive is to hear those words of affirmation. Yeah. So, like, being able to each of them still make your children or your partner feel loved and appreciated, but when you love someone the way they really want to be loved, it takes it to a whole different level. So I may go and say, if she doing her schoolwork and I say I'm gonna give you a gift afterwards for doing good on your schoolwork, it's like, okay, cool. But if I tell her, you know what, you are amazing, you did amazing on this, I can't believe you did this good, and I start pouring into her the words that you want to hear, then she'll thrive better than if I just said, okay, here's $1, because that's not gifts. Yeah. It's not language. Words of affirmation is, and it kind of goes the same way when it goes into personality type. So, like for me, I'm certified in DISC, in the DISC assessment. So DISC, the acronyms for anybody that doesn't know. D is dominance, I is influence, S is steadiness, and C is compliance. It's other words that you can use, but that's just the easiest ones I found. So, like, as far as with personality types, how I use it in my house is I'm a dominant, influential personality type. My husband is a compliance and steadiness personality type. So when I come at him with this high energy, like, and a lot of passionate, influential people, like, have really like high energy, but what I realize is like there's no in between for our energy. So either you are an energy giver or energy drainer, like when you have the same kind of personality. So if I know that you get drained fast his personality type, I gotta know how to like dim it down or turn it up. Like when it's time to dim it down, when it's time to turn it up, because it's the same way, like in knowing your love language, but with personality types, that's more of what you can use to anybody. So I know, like when it comes to love, it's kind of more intimate, and but even understanding your love language or come off to other people is really important, and it can help you like thrive better when you're self-aware and when you know how you operate and how other people operate, it's less of a you don't get offended as much when you see trolls on the internet, or like if you running a business and somebody, you know, make you feel some kind of way. When you have that level of self-awareness about your just the way you are, it makes it easier to like go out into the world and be able to function at home, at school, with your kids, or wherever you are. So that's just my take on how we use love languages. I use love languages along with the personality assessments to be able to like thrive in my life. So
right there, I was like, I need to get mine done because I feel like mine is like overly dominant, but I don't know. I need to figure my stuff out. So I like that you brought that aspect into it. I don't really have much else to say besides the love languages. Charlene, did you have anything else?
All right. Well, I wanted to share my screen. Can you guys see it?
Oh, one sec. Let me see.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. So this is just a simple chart. And again, you know, Google, I believe Google, I mean, you can't believe everything off of Google, but you know, I'm a visual person. So this is just some examples. So again, once you take the quiz, and also if you don't want to take the quiz, you can, it's other little, you know, signs that let you know that that might be their love language. But if your child is old enough, I would definitely get them to, you know, just answer the few questions that's up there. So again, you have 5 types. And you have like words of affirmation, like Jessica was saying, is just like acknowledging them, so giving them compliments, expressing appreciation. If they're older, you might send them a text and just say, "Hey, just want to let you know you know, I love you, I'm proud of you." You know, actively listening to them. So when they're trying to talk to you, making sure that you're being intentional and not like on your phone or distracted. And just noticing their efforts and acknowledgement is good ways to show love for words of affirmation. Which again, you want to do these things even if that's not your child's love language, but especially if it is, you know, that will really just lighten them up, you know. And then you got acts of service. So this is when you're actually helping them do things. So if you know their love language is acts of language, then you might say, "Hey, I'm gonna help you clean your room," or "Let's make a meal together." Or, you know, just getting them different things like, you know, bringing their food to them or drink of water or doing things for them. And it don't have to be all the time because, you know, they can be, you know, you want your kids to have chores and responsibilities, but it's like, you know, from time to time, you might do help them with something because that's their love language. And then you have physical touch. So I don't really know about the rubbing that feet thing because I don't know. I'm just like special like that. I don't really, but like cuddling. And again, I don't know. See, I have a boy, so it's just different. I just certain things. But anyway, read a story. Sit near them. You know, give them hugs and kisses, high fives. You know, things like that. And gifts, again, it could be a thoughtful gift, like just for no reason. You know, it doesn't have to be a special gift, but you know, say if they like to color or they like art, getting them some coloring pencils or something like that. Finding presents that fit their interests. Giving them something just special, like and appreciating the gifts that they make for you. And then quality time is of course more obvious. That's like eating together, having special time doing board games, taking walks, making a treat together, doing your chores together, and things. So I found it and I just wanted to share. I thought that was a good chart, a good visual. But again, I think that you have some information on the website as well. And again, just take the test. So I have definitely found it, even with the students in my class. I don't know their love languages, but I do know who doesn't like to feel appreciation, right? So I always like, you know, show appreciation in the little things, even things they should be doing already, like not talking while I'm talking. I'm like, I really appreciate you for being respectful, or I appreciate you for participating. Like I just give more positive than negative. And that just, you know, it softens up everybody hard and they're not on the fence. And it just makes everybody just, it's just more welcoming and warm. So I just say, you know, us as mothers, especially when we're juggling a lot of things, and I know you two ladies, you building your businesses and things like that, it could be, our time is so already tight and it can be challenging when you go in different directions. And sometimes it's like our kid can get like the frustrating part, because I've caught myself too. Like I'll come home after a long day and just be so short fused with my son. And I had to pull it back, and I just realized, I'm like, you know what, that's not really fair, because he ain't do nothing to me. I'm just stressed. And so just like you said, Jessica, with recognizing your personality, like recognize when you are irritated or stressed and not, you know, taking it out on your kids or whatever. Is basically what I'm trying to say. You know, we talked about self-care before, like it's so important, because you can't pull from an empty cup, and you know, you might not can't spend time with them every night, but you know, making it intentional, like even if you have to plan and be like, okay, an hour this weekend, I'm gonna put this on my calendar and I'm gonna stick to it, and we're gonna have some family time, you know, things like that. So whatever you're doing, you know, just being intentional, and using, like you said, the personality and using their love languages to just connect with them, even if it's like making sure you have dinner. Because I know sometimes I'm so busy, I'll just cook and I'll just call my son down to get his plate, and then I'm eating my stuff and I'm trying to work at the same time. But it's like some nights I just be like, nope, I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna eat at the table and we'll have conversation. That's how you know what's going on with your children, especially with you know, all this remote stuff going on, and you'll know if they're stressed. And
and the same like with us, like we have a no electronic rule at the table. We all sit at the table together. We have a family devotional, so like we do Tony Evans family devotional, and it's like one page for any age, and it's just, it goes into like, he have something up like giving gifts, or like showing appreciation, like, and we sit down and it's a prompt, or they have like a verse or something, and then at the end it asks like 3 questions. So like, just even, I know like for me, I have a 9-year-old, my boys are babies, but like engaging in conversation and like really getting to know your kids, especially like during this time. And if I train case managers, and I also train foster parents and birth parents who have gotten their kids taken away, I do parenting classes. So like, one thing that I teach with that is that you're just like, you're living in your world, all of us are living in our own world together, but everybody is in their own world. So when it comes to your love language, personality type, you're in your own world, and a lot of times we don't realize that our kids are in their own worlds too. So like, I know like one example is a kid that break a crayon. And in that case, it's like you might be looking at them like, come on now, get the crayon. It's not that serious. You got 10 other ones in the box. But when we take ourselves, like when you learn love languages and you or personality or whatever, and you start to learn how to take yourself out of your world and step into somebody else's world, like, and see it from their perspective, like, okay, you know what? That really would hurt you. Like, do you want to talk about it? Let's talk about it. You know, like, and really connecting on a deeper level. Like, let's get some tape and put it back together so I can show you that I care about what's going on in your world. Because it's really easy to be like, you know what, your crayon broke, but I had a long day at work, or I had a long day at my business, or something like that. So just getting to a point where you're able to start taking yourself out of your world and going into their world is like, it works wonders. Like for me, I've been working with kids in foster care, primarily teenagers, for years. I've never had a kid run away, and they always give me the runaways. So like, I never had a kid run away from me, because I know how to like step out of my world and come into their world. And like, I even had a girl, as soon as I met her, she came up to me like, I'm gonna probably end up running away. I said, girl, go ahead, because I ain't feel like working today, no way. And then she like, what? So then we open up this conversation, because I'm stepping into your world and I'm understanding, you know what? You just met this worker. You don't have no clue, you know, like, I don't know what her experience has been, but I know every person out here in the field, in any helping field, every teacher is not a good teacher. Every social worker is not a good social worker. Like, every parent is not a good parent. So it's like, to be able to put yourself in their shoes and be like, well, you know, just stepping into their world. So, like, I think that it's very important, like, in the field that I'm in, to also know, like what Charlene was saying, the languages, even though you don't know their exact love language, you can, when you start to learn this stuff, you can easily, like, identify what worked for some people and what don't. So, like, stepping into their world. And then that's when she had a conversation with me, like, well, I never really had nobody, that kid, and this and that, and we had a good day. We went out to the movies, we went to go get something to eat. She didn't run away. She's, you know, so, like, but it's because I take the time to step into their world and to say, like, you know what, if I was a foster child or and somebody was coming to pick me up, I have no idea who they are. I'm on the defense. And a lot of times, even in our own household, our kids is on the defense. We don't know what they went through all day in school or how they feeling and stuff like that. So just being able to, like, step out of your world for a minute will make a world of a difference with the people, like, around you, your kids, your spouse, everybody. So I'm really passionate when it comes to
hey, like, keep it out, but that's good.
This is not real, because, like, that's my thing. Like, just that, well, that's what I do. Like, I train people on pretty much how to identify and understand the personalities and the language, not necessarily, I don't say love language, but the language of the people around you. Like, okay, so my kids is so that we're gonna wrap this up. But yeah, so that's cool. I think this is very important. That's basically it. Step out of your world, step into somebody else's world, and it will come back to you tenfold. When you start giving out that kind of energy, then it's gonna come back. So that's my take on it.
Oh yeah, and they actually will bend over backwards to try to please you, because they're, you know, that's you're making intentional about connecting with them, and like you said, stepping into their world, and they'll be, instead of it being like a bother, you know. And so yeah, that's awesome. I think we shared some good tips. I did drop in the chat the link. You come and watch the replay, you can just click right on that, and they do have 2 sets of tests for groups 5 through 8 and then 9 through 12. And you can also take one for yourself if you haven't, and you want to you know, have you and your spouse do one, and that's something, you know, just get the love languages flowing in the house. You know, everybody just loving on each other. So.
Yeah, this conversation made my baby want to feel love. So he
yes. I know, and it's like my son, when I first learned, it made sense when I learned his, because I'm just like, at first, every time his is, like I said, words of affirmation. So when he always tries to be like overly, you know, like positive, I'd be like, boy, you just want something. But that's really just the way that he show love and the way that he receive love. So he'll always tell me stuff like, Mom, you're the best. I hear that all throughout the day, and I'll be like, but that's actually just, you know, him giving his love language, and, you know, and I give it back to him. So it's a great thing, like, once you actually be mindful of that, and like Jess said, just taking yourself, you know, away from that. And so now, even in my business, I'm like, nope, at a certain time I gotta cut off my computer and I gotta be present, you know, with my son, because it's not fair, you know, to them that you're not present all the time, you know. And we can only do so much, but they'll know if you being if you're being intentional, and they'll know if you just, you know, because they feel like they're not being loved if you don't never, you know, try to have conversation and do what they want to do, you know. So yeah.
Well, thank you, ladies. Like, y'all, like, these tips y'all gave tonight, I was like, I didn't have any input, because I was like, this ain't my area of domain. I'm still learning, like, this stuff. So I was like, y'all actually gave me some good tips to, like, really think about and to apply to my own life. Like, I'm kind of short-tempered, like, in general. So so this definitely gave me a lot to think about as well, like, for myself. So thank y'all for y'all expertise and input.
And if anybody wants to take a personality test and sit down and have a conversation, you can hit me up on IG at mrs.jt.moore. We can get your assessment going and get you on the road to start identifying your own personality, the personalities of the people around you. And yeah, so definitely hit me up if you want to take this a step further. I got you. So.
And also, I'm actually starting a free challenge about connecting with your middle schooler, because middle school is like the year is like a lot of transition and they tend to kind of pull away. And so, like I said, I have a middle schooler and I teach middle school, and so I want to do like a free challenge. So I'll be putting up my flyers and stuff about that this coming week. So if you haven't connected with me on Legacy Moms through Facebook, you can find me there, or my personal. You guys see my profile in the comments. You can just go there and you'll see it on my page. So either way, so yeah.
All right. Well, since there's no comments or anything, oh, was there anything else, y'all?
You didn't tell them what you have to offer and how you can be.
I'm forgetting, y'all. Well, I don't have anything associated with this, so but y'all feel free to contact Mom Moguls. Follow us every Wednesday North. So if you're looking for a certain specialty that I may not offer or we didn't talk about today, y'all can just follow us, Mom Moguls, on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, just tune in on Wednesday, 7:45 p.m. is normally we go live. If you don't see me go live, that's because I'm either recording or just did not go on. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think surrounding yourself by like-minded individuals has a lot to do with just your overall self-awareness, everything. So Mom Moguls is definitely a good place to be, because all of us want to strive to be moms that are moguls. So it all ties in. Everything we do tie into every conversation. So I know sometimes we like to get a little humble, but we want to let you know, no, you need to get with one of us at least, or everybody. So just throwing it out there. So
all right. Sorry, I was like typing in something in the comment box. I misspelling stuff. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Be sure to contact me if y'all have any questions about anything. Honestly, it's not my area domain because I would point them to you anyway. So y'all just thank you guys again. Thank you for tuning in.
I have someone saying, hey, I said, I wish you would stop saying that. Like Jessica already said, we all, you have a community. We all have a community in different areas that we're connected them to. So
yeah.
Even though you might not focus on that area, you have a community that's giving them support and, and just being better, which we all want to strive to be better, better women, better mothers, better people. And so all of us offer something different in that piece of the puzzle. So.
Yeah.
Well, my kids is not going to last much longer. So I hope
I'm about to off in the live. Thank y'all again. And thank y'all for tuning in. If y'all catch the replay, thank you guys for tuning in. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Y'all have a good Sunday night.
Bye.